You should be live on your joint right now.
I'm checking it. Yes, it is.
Now we got to share that bad boy. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Make sure don't make it public. I always got to make sure I go back, and I learned the other day to go and edit my audience and change it from friends to public.
Yes.
I hate Facebook for that foolishness. If I see the Meta staff anywhere, I just go and box them.
Yo, I think I'm hold on, Pop. Yeah. I love that joint right there, boy. You.
That's that hammer.
Come on now.
That's right.
Work that pedal.
Come on, man.
Quest, what's up, man?
Yo, let me tell you something. That thing will get you good and riled up, you know.
Oh man, get you ready for a sermon or run out of church. One of them.
One of the two. One of the two.
Word.
One of the two. Yeah, man. Happy Monday to everybody, man. Word up.
Yeah, man. It's one of them Mondays, bro.
What's up?
It was a beautiful day today. Everybody was talking about it was hot, but it was nice today.
We in the Carolinas, bro. So
Oh, so you had
it hot.
yeah,
You can fry eggs on the street in the middle of the day.
you had slave weather.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This cotton picking weather down here.
I'm picking weather. I hear you, bro.
Yes,
I hear
indeed.
you.
Yes, indeed.
So how you
Man, I
doing,
was
man?
I'm good, but I'm ready to kill my children. You know what I'm saying? That's just jokes. Let me just tell you, pause. That's
Yeah,
jokes.
you gotta
That's
clean it.
jokes.
That's I got you. I got you. I got
Yeah,
you. So,
yeah.
somebody messed you up, huh?
I was sharing with y'all. I was sharing with uh you know P a while ago that
Yeah,
my son Nico, he's a very intelligent child, but
yeah,
sometimes I really like I gotta question my man sometimes. So I tell them do not bring food upstairs because I know how these kids are. They boys and they boys.
okay, okay.
They leave wrappers all over the place. They leave towel paper, the bounty roll up, squeeze up, leave them all over the place. Like I gotta put stringent rules in place
Yeah,
just for them jokers stay in line. But sometimes they don't business, they don't listen to me.
right.
Big up yourself, Yvette. What's up?
Hey, Vic.
So he comes upstairs and I see him like doing like this. I'm walking past the bedroom. I'm seeing him do like this because I think he didn't pay attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
So he
Hmm.
brings Icy upstairs. Corinne, what's up?
Wow,
So I
I
tell
see.
this joker, don't bring nothing upstairs. Don't bring not even a glass of water. Don't bring it upstairs. You want that? Go to the kitchen, go do that. Right? There's plenty of space for you to do whatever you want to do down there. And plus, if they make a mess, I'd rather them make it there.
There,
This
right, right.
joker on my Berber carpet
Oh no.
drops uh the icy and it's red. So he decides he wants to clean it.
Clean it up. Right.
Rather than go get carpet cleaner that we have under the sink in the kitchen, this joker go gets a cap of bleach and puts it on the thing and tries to wipe it out and leaves a spot about the size of my palm in the carpet in bleach. And I'm just like, then when I'm sitting there, look his face. I'm like, man, don't give me that dumb look, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
I
it's
know.
it
I
it
know that
it
hurts, man.
this is and it's not so much the carpet because carpet don't mean nothing more to me than him.
Right, right,
It
right.
is when we talking to him in this season, I need him to understand that we put rules in place for your protection.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you can't obey these jokers in the small areas, how you going to obey
How you
them in the
going?
big areas?
Yeah, yeah.
And here's the thing: can I have this? Can I have that? Can I do this? Can I do that? And then how can I, like for real, really do anything for you or say yes to what you want to do if you can't even? But you know what the real lesson is now. It's where we are as adults because the same thing
Yeah,
that he does to
because
us
we
in our
the same
parenting
thing
is,
they do is the same thing we do. You
oh
know, and that's the scary thing, man. We kind of one of the reasons why I believe, man, I'm kind of soft with my kids. I'm gonna be honest with you, man, because I I'm yo, listen, man. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Wendy is not soft with the kids. I am the punky. Okay. Now I want to spell it for you, right? So I don't lose my job. I
the
am
punk parents.
VAPUNKAY. I'm
Parents.
the punky.
AYE. I'm the punk A.
AYE. I'm the punky, man. Man, you don't even understand, man. I used to be I look, man, and I'll be like, man, okay, he did that. All right, man. Okay, she did that. All right, man. But I don't know, bro. I think that for me, it's hard for me to get down on them, man, because I suck, you
Yeah.
know, and sometimes you wonder, do I suck as a dad? Do I suck as a person? You know,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It,
Corinne
it's
Corinne says that our children are replicas of us, man.
They are. Here's the funny thing. My family members on both
Mm.
sides,
Mhm.
Faith's parents and my parents, they're like, we watch him. He's just like you.
Like
Oh,
you.
that's great. Thank you. Thank you.
We're watching, and he's just like you, man.
But it's funny though, because I watch him at church and I watch him in places outside of the house.
Okay.
And I'm like, don't do it. I'm like, doggone it. That's
Don't
something
do
that
that.
I would do. That's something I do. I'm like, hey, come here. Come here. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
First of all, you gonna expose yourself, and number two, you gonna expose me. Don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I watch him when he gets on stage at church.
And you see yourself.
It's scary, P.
Yeah.
It's scary. I
No,
have
I
a
hear you, bro.
tendency to charge them for their mistakes in my past.
Mm. So you have a tendency to charge them say it again, from their mistakes because of your past.
With their mistakes in my past. So it's a
Wow.
combination of the two.
Yeah. That's me though, man. For real. I gotta admit that to you. I'm that guy. Man. That's like, yo, I don't want to beat him soft because that was me last week. Not me when I was younger. I don't know why people think that when we get older we get better. I don't get it.
That's supposed to be the natural occurrence, but I don't. I would like to think I'm getting better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Because like for real, I think God knew what He was doing, but like I told you, by allowing Zoe to experience it, because now I'm not only having to. First of all, Pete, let me just say hats off to you. Word up, hats off to you. And the reason I'm saying hats off to you, right? Like for real, I just want to make sure that we give, you know what I'm saying, P, yeah, your props. Because as a pastor, bro, your job. Matter of fact, let me just give you another one, because you need a standing O, like for real. Pastors don't have the luxury that we as lay people have. You know what I'm saying? I'm an elder at my church, yes, but I don't have you don't have the luxury that we have just because of the way that our culture works.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I hear you, bro. I appreciate the acknowledgement of that. It's not easy. You have a problem with your marriage, it's different from somebody else who has a problem with their marriage.
That's it.
You got a problem with your kids, it's different than you having a problem with your kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just think that a lot of people see us as individuals that just because we preach or we pastor that we have perfect lives, or we should have perfect lives. Man, I'm gonna tell you again. I said it earlier. I ain't scared, man. I suck. You hear me? And sometimes I think that God uses me because I suck. I am full of it, man.
I ain't gonna lie. I think that He gave me what He gave me. I'm telling you, I'm a Levite. I'm a Levite.
I hear you.
I'm a Levite, bro. I think He gave me what He gave me so that He could keep me out of trouble.
Wow. That's deep, bro.
I ain't even lying, bro.
No, man, I hear you. I hear you. Marvin. What's up, Marvin?
Big Marv.
Yeah, boy. I think sometimes, man, God be playing me out, man. And I think it's because, like when you be older, you be talking about, when you're younger, you say, man, I guess when I get older, I don't want to have no girls as kids. I don't want to, then God gives you a girl, and everybody keeps saying that my son is like me. But my dude,
the baby girl,
my baby girl is like me, boy. Seriously, she's scared of Jesus out of me. Bro. What is your daughter around right now?
Yeah, she's here. Oh, not here. She's at work.
Oh, she's at work. Yeah, man, my little girl, man. She take me for. She take me for a loop, bro.
Look in the chat, P. Look in the chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man. She take me for. I be thinking we the same. You hear me? She be calling me, yo, dad, so and so, whatever. I'd be like, yo, don't don't do
Yeah,
that. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? So that's my friend Hashina. Hashina, I'm on unscripted right now, unless you want to come on and talk about men and issues. Yeah, she said, she said, Lord have mercy. You're live, Hashina, you're live. She said, Lord have mercy. No, sir.
Yes.
All right, Hashina. She said, go about your business. Yeah,
Uh,
man. Yeah, that's a serious thing, man. When your kids are like you know what I'm saying?
yes.
It's serious. When your kids are like you, man, it's just like, oh snap. So all I can say is, I hope that she's got the better part of me.
Hmm.
You know, I said I hope so, bro, because
Man.
that's tough. So I'm gonna ask this question. All right, I see. Wow. I see the numbers are going up there. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Your children, not you. I'm asking our audience right now.
Hmm.
Your
Hmm.
children. Um, Everybody says that there's something about your children that's just like you. What about your children is just like you? All right, I'm gonna ask that. So I can start with you. I can start with you, Quest. What about your children is just like you? All right.
Nico does not know a stranger.
Okay.
He does
So
not know a stranger. He don't know a stranger. And then on top of that, in this, and but I think in this season, his he- I have a better understanding of myself because of the disc assessment, right?
okay.
I'm a very decisive individual. Um, so there's four. Let me just say that there's four parts to the disc assessment, right? There is
Okay.
the decisive you, there is the enthusiastic you, which is the
Hmm.
people person, right? There is the pace driven you, all right,
The
which
pace
is
driven you. Go ahead.
yeah, right. And then there is the protocol you, rules, standards, structure, logic, right? We all have all four in us, but a number of us have one preference or two at the most,
Okay.
that we prefer more or wired more towards, right? So I'm a very decisive person and I'm very enthusiastic at the same time, which means I'm at war constantly within myself.
Wow.
So I lean more to the person that I don't know a stranger. I can, but the minute that we're working on anything and I don't get results, I will put that down and I will turn to the decisive me. And then at that point, I don't care nothing about feelings or experience. I just
Mm,
want the results. I would rather get it through a collection of people or a team environment, if you will.
okay.
Nico, I'm realizing he is very enthusiastic, but he wants results first. He ain't leaning towards. If you rocking with him, then you rock with him, and if he don't care.
You
He
don't care.
moving on without you.
So
That's the
that's
difference.
you. That's
Yeah,
you. But that's you.
yeah. But his is turned up. His is turned up.
Ah.
It might be that it's turned up, or he has not yet learned how to maturely navigate through that.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay.
He
I got
don't. Yeah. So he the type of child, like I told you before, he asked for forgiveness before he asked for permission.
you. That's my son. That ain't me. my, he'll ask for he'll do his joint
Yeah. We be in
and
the
be like, hey,
supermarket. He don't ask you for nothing. He just take Nillas off and put them in the basket. And I'm
jeez.
like, you didn't come in. And
You
many a
gotta be
times I don't
kidding me,
mind,
man.
but I got to put him.
Oh my gosh. I was just talking about this dirty boy right here.
Yeah, yeah,
Look at
yeah.
this.
Big
Look
boy.
at this.
Yep.
Look at
You know what I'm
this.
saying? Look, gang, 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 gang.
Yo, 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 what we were just talking about, right? What's this kid? We were just talking about this. Come here, boys. I was just asking this question, right?
Yeah.
Just saying this. What is the scary thing about about your children that's
Yep.
just like you,
Yep.
right? What is it? What is it that you do that's just like me that I'm just scared about? What do you think it is?
The way I drive.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Fact.
That's cool. That's cool. The way he
He said
drives.
what?
The way he drives.
Oh yeah.
That's a fact. That's a fact, right? Because I'd be driving with him. I'd be holding on. Like, what's wrong with you, right?
That's not one of yours though. He favor what's her name?
You asked me if this is one of mine.
That's one. That's yours. I could tell that. That's yours all day.
This one here. So you're telling me that this one is mine?
Not yours.
No, just tell me because it could be yours. All right.
Yo, back in the day, I don't know. I was demo man back in the day. I tear my fence in him. Wash your fence.
But check it. He got to bend low. This dude is like 6. What are you? 6'3"? 6'4".
Dag.
You know he ain't mine. But this one is 6'1", so I don't know if he's mine.
Oh, yo, bro, we got questions to ask. We asking some questions. Wendy,
Wendy.
You know who he favor though? You know who he favor?
This one here.
What's the young lady that goes to your church? I met her a long time ago.
But which church, right? Because you remember I'm not at RPC anymore.
If I remember correctly, she cooks like
Malika.
Is that her? He favors her.
If he does favor Malika.
Okay.
He does favor Malika. It's true.
So yeah, he drives like you.
My boys.
Oh, the Tacoma Academy boys.
Yo, you see this? You see this girl right here? Beach Breezes right here?
Yes.
She taught them in 2nd grade, bro.
Wow.
He taught them in that's Miss Pam. That's Miss Pam.
Oh, that's Miss Smith.
Oh yeah, Miss Smith.
Miss Smith.
Oh, Miss Smith. All right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. So them boys, man. Them boys, they I'm scared of them.
No, that's why I'm scared of Nico though. Nico's not scared to talk to girls.
All right, man. Take it easy, baby. Are y'all going somewhere? Okay. All right.
Get big.
Yo,
Nico's not scared to talk to girls.
Wow.
Remember what that was like when we were 11?
Oh yeah.
Like I had a little bit of shook, but I was never necessarily. I would just make them laugh, and that was my way in.
Yeah, right.
Nico, he calls himself the Rizzler. I'm like, listen, do me a favor, stop that foolishness. Stop. Like
he calls himself the what? The Rizzler.
Yeah, because that's the young people's term now when they be bagging them. Like Rizzler. I'm like,
the Rizzler.
Stop that foolishness. You're not
okay.
Rizzler. Yeah.
Yo, check this out. Corrine says, my daughter has all my traits: attitude, personality, strength, take charge, and more. My son also behaves like me. No nonsense. Wow. Yeah. I said, well, hold on. Look who's up here. Oh, hello. Hi, Miss.
Hi, Dad.
This is. So let me ask you a question, right? Seriously, I'm gonna ask you, and I don't want you to stay on long because I like to talk about stuff and I want you to be around. What would you say is the biggest, is the most of this? What do you think is the same trait that me and you have?
Just one?
Oh snap! She said just one. Yo, whatever you think, whatever you think.
Well, I wouldn't say. I do think we have traits, but I will say that our timelines of like how we kind of like how my life has been going, how your life when you were younger, I guess, it's the same. We talked about that. Like our timeline is the same, like literally the same, like when it comes with relationships, the same thing that happened to you happened to me. So
yeah. You mean our dating life?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, she said me and you are softies. Mom says me and you are softies. We're people pleasers.
We are people pleasers. Yes. I think that's actually the biggest one, honestly.
Yeah.
I would say that's the biggest one. Oh, okay, Mom. Dang.
All right. You have to come off like that.
Mom's is a sniper. When they are shot down everything. But you know what's funny about it is that I'm a people pleaser with the both of y'all. The only difference is that I love results. So when I don't get it through the people pleasing, then I put the people pleasing down and I turn into the gorilla.
Wow. I hear you. Not me and Zovi. We suck at that. Now my son, right? Even though he may feel a certain way, he ain't gonna talk to that person. Me and Zenovi would be like, hi.
Yeah.
My son would be like, yo, I'm feeling it, but You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like fear mother. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. That's not happening. You know. But me and Zoe be pining over people. My wife don't pine over nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Me, I'm saying
That's a good thing to have, though. That's a good balance to have. Just imagine what that would have been like if both of y'all were people pleasers.
both of who? Me and my
And
wife.
Wendy, yep. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Somebody has to be like it's a dope balance. The best example that I think of is Ian Diddy. Like Diddy she don't hold no punches.
Really?
Like
So he does?
he does. He does. He is low key. He's his flight attendant, if you will, his enthusiastic wiring is getting better. He's becoming a lot mature in that because he takes us on the journey with him, right? So we get to
Uh,
see it. But Didi, if she don't
yeah.
like you, she ain't messing with you.
Gosh. So
You
Zoe, let
don't
me
get.
ask you.
Mhm.
Let me ask this other one. If there's a way you can change from being like your father, how would you change from being like me? What would you change?
Wow. Wow.
And I won't take offense to it. Really, I won't take offense to it. Well, I just said earlier, nigga, I suck. All right, so go ahead.
I wouldn't. I First and foremost, I don't think it's smart for me to want to change anything because if I do, I wouldn't be your daughter. I would be someone else's kid. So that's kind of how I would feel about it.
All right, what's your cash app again? What's your cash app?
But I think what it would be for me is, I guess it's not really your fault either. I really don't like these generational curses and I think I got the generation curse, not Spencer. So
Wow.
I think I would want to change that because it's not the best. I'm trying to break it. It's taken a process. However,
Okay.
that would be the one thing that I would say.
I think you've
Yeah,
broken it
she,
already.
she's
Oh,
talking about breaking the generational curses. Yeah, we talk about that. Me and
If you can
Snowy, we
speak
talk.
from that place, I
Mm-mm.
think you've broken it already.
oh.
Yeah,
Well
we,
then,
we,
Here,
we
here's the reason why I say it. Me and your father have been talking about this for some time, and one of the things that we've always been saying since we started doing unscripted is that your soul can't hold a secret that your behavior won't reveal.
yeah.
What am I
Say it
saying?
again.
I'm
Say it
saying,
again. Say it right.
yeah, your soul can't hold a secret that your behavior won't reveal,
Mhm.
right? So the reason why I'm saying that is if you think a particular way, I don't care how much you try to cover it up, you're going to behave a particular way. And if you behave
Ah,
a particular way, then you got to deal with those outcomes, right? So the minute that you switch your thinking and say, I do this, but I don't want that anymore. I want this now. It won't be too long before it starts festering and
mm,
taking root. Once it takes root, you're going to start speaking differently. There's death and life in the power of the tongue. If you start speaking differently, you're going to continue to, like for real, it's going to affect your thinking. Before long, the behavior follows right after it. And then the outcomes change as well.
mm,
So it's already started. You know what I'm saying?
no,
What it say? If you've committed it, like if you look upon a person with lust, you've already done it. Why? Because you've done it in your mind
in your head
already.
already. Right, right,
So the
right.
inverse is also true. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
well,
saying?
could you get out of our generational curses? Okay, get out of
I'm
me and my
just
daughter's
saying.
generational
I think she's
curses.
done it already, bro.
I'm gonna tell you what's so funny, right? Like I was at this church. You remember when Zoe, I was preaching at this church, the Spanish church.
mm-hmm.
And I think I was sitting next to this guy, and I text my daughter. I was like, "Yo, you see anything out here? Anything out here?" She was like, "Yeah, the guy you sitting next to, right? Whatever." Um, I just, my daughter would be like, "Where they at?" Whatever.
I have to say I can't I'm okay with admitting that because I went to actually I went to a Sunday church yesterday and I saw a
Um,
guy. I said, "Oh my gosh!" I told my dad. I said, "He's so handsome and he has a Bible. He goes to church." I said,
yes.
"Yeah, the Baptist people is where I need to be at." Like,
Yeah,
okay, but
yes.
that's
Hey, I'm gonna say this bluntly like this. I I don't think if one thing I want my daughter not to have, and my son, because it's both of them, right? Um, um, if we date, if you're dating Wendy and you break up with her, yo, she's like, no, seriously, let me tell you what she's like. She'll go and get a big drink and say bye bye. My wife will get a beer and say bye bye. I'm not talking
And
about no
say
apple
bye-bye.
juice.
No,
Yeah,
a
she don't
beer.
cry for nobody. She don't cry for nobody. Like if even as a husband, right? If I was like, yo, I'm leaving, she'd be like, all right, we'll the key is right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, me not vex still, because we're not beg, we're not beg no friend. I
We
don't,
don't beg no friend.
we're not beg no friend. You know what I said? I get it though. I get it though.
But it's
I
hard
don't want.
sometimes, right? It's hard sometimes, right? Because you can't when you have a spouse that even if they're soft inside, they're gonna give you the tough interior.
Yeah,
I mean tough exterior.
yeah.
You can't play with their feelings. You can't be like, oh, I'm out. They're gonna be like, then be out then. I'm leaving. There's the door. They'll cry and not let you know. Oh, you understand where I'm coming from? But I wish that my daughter got that from Wendy, right? And I wish that she didn't get from me giving her heart. Yeah. That's that. Like my son gives his heart too, right? But he be
When you
he,
said you don't like beer.
please don't write what you like. Just say you don't like beer. Don't write what you like.
Well, you say
Yeah.
you like whites, don't it?
So
Red.
Jovi, my thing to you before I let you go.
Yeah.
One of the things that I wish for you is one of the fruits of the spirit is self-control.
My.
And I'm 53 and I feel like on a scale of 1 to 10, I am about a 7 and 8 when it comes to self-control. I'm not at a 10, I'm not a 9, I'm not even at a strong 8. I'm somewhere between there. But for you as a young lady and knowing the way we are, right? The way we are. I wish for you to have a tough exterior like your mom and that you have greater self-control than your dad, right? Because, at the end of the day, one of the things that attracted me to your mom was her grit. She had grit. And like she's the kind of person, man, that would be like, "Oh, I'm going what's the joint?
Skiing.
I'm going skiing." Like, "Yo, we don't go skiing." I'm Brooklyn. We don't go skiing. She's like, "I'm going skiing. I'm gonna climb a mountain." You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do this, that, the other. And I'm like, "Oh man, are you joining?" I'm like, "No." You know what I'm saying? Her grit is ridiculous. And I noticed you got that from your mother. You got that crazy grit, But you got to take the good and the bad in what we have given you. Because I'm gonna start out like saying this before I let you go, because I was just saying, man, I suck. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you have to give yourself some credit. You're human, like all of us.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
I hear you. I
Daddy,
give myself some credit.
birthday is coming up this week.
Yes, my dear, I'm gonna be 54
54.
on Friday.
Wow, B.
I'm gonna be 54 on Friday. Listen, brother, I knew you when you were 9. Keep playing around, brother.
Yo. In case you didn't know, me and your father went to elementary school together. He was upperclassman, but
He's okay.
Went to school together.
he's okay.
All right.
Wow.
So we get off here, man. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
All right, girl. We'll talk.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Pete,
So
let me tell you something, bro. She's in good hands, bro. She is in a good place, bro.
I think my thing is because I knew early. I'll give you a quick story, right? My daughter and this little boy, she must have been about maybe 7 or 8, right? And somebody came to me, didn't even go to her mother, came to me and said, "Oh, you know, I saw your daughter wrap up with this boy in the gym at church."
Well, lucky it wasn't a girl she was wrapped up with.
Well, listen, that's the first thing that Wendy said to me was like, look at me, okay?
How old was she at the time? How old was she at the time?
About 8.
She was
about
8 years, 8
about
years
8
old.
or 9, about 8 or 9. And for me, I felt like, yo, I'm not gonna beat her and make her feel bad for feeling that, you know, her body's working at 8 and 9 years old.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe she see me walk by and hug up her mom.
Yep.
Maybe she see me do this, that, or the other.
Yep.
So, you know, I'm not gonna make her feel like the way she feels is, you know, it's like a sin. You understand where I'm coming from?
No, I understand it. You know what I'm saying?
So,
like for me, it would have been a conversation more about, you know, just be careful of how you carry yourself because people can get the wrong idea when you. But I'm not vexed with you per se.
Nah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we still have a standard to uphold, if you will. I get it.
True.
But I'm not vexed with you. Matter of fact, at this, bro, I know somebody who is a principal at a school, an elementary school, and some of the stuff that I hear. I'm talking about this. Okay, we're talking about 1st grade through 6th grade, 5th grade.
Chief, I used to teach at a public school. All right. This little girl, she must have been about, again, right? Because it was 4th grade. So 4th grade would be 9, right?
Yep.
And there's like 4, 5 boys in the bathroom with her, right? Seriously, right? So they come back to the classroom and this lady of a lighter hue brings her in and tells her, go in there and go sit down, and all you boys go sit down, and so whatever. And they sat down like they didn't do nothing. Man, the kids were about to leave, and I brought her to the desk, up to my desk. You know, I said to her, I said, listen, 9 years old, I'm disappointed in you. She started crying. Yo, when the lady was shouting at her, it didn't mean nothing.
The minute that you said.
The minute that I said to her, I'm disappointed in you, she just started crying like uncontrollably. Because I believe there's something about a man, right? When a man is able to share with you not his disgust but his disappointment. And she may not see it at home. She may not, you understand where I'm coming from or whatever. I can't say that, but there's something about our responsibility about being a man with our daughters, with our sons, with our families. Yo, and that's why I always say this, man. It ain't easy being no man.
No, bro.
It ain't easy.
No,
you got that old song by Kermit the Frog saying it ain't easy being green.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? It ain't easy, bro. You know. So look what Marvin says. What's Marvin said there?
Trust that we did the right thing and gave them the tools to grow up in this society.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's
you
true,
know what's
bro.
funny? My boy said something to me the other day. My boy Darren. Shouts out to Darren, man. He said to me, he pastors a First Day church.
Okay.
But he is somebody that I can talk to. Like, you know, you always got one of them boys that you can really get a good word in from. He said to me the other day, you have to trust, Q, that the same way that God erased your stuff.
Ooh.
He can erase
I hear you. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
The same way that he erased
your stuff.
Yep, your stuff. That he can erase hers. But you have to walk in the fullness of that, because sometimes you say it sounds good. You know, you hold on to it, right? But then when she does stuff, immediately that thing kicks back in. Shouts out to Bernadine. You know what I'm saying? Enough love. That you just have to give him time to do what he does, because his time is different than your time.
I got you. I got you.
And and I, I see it in certain areas in her life. I see it. I see the adjustments, and I know what it is when you're trying to make adjustments and you fighting yourself.
Uh-huh.
You know that when the Bible talks about, let what is it, Pete? Because you know the text better than me. My mind is
What?
where it says, let it have its perfect work.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yes.
So in the difficulties and like, let it have its perfect work so it can produce what it needs to produce. Just because you don't see it producing it within the time frame you think that it should happen doesn't mean that it's not producing what it should.
Mm.
And so I just gotta allow her to, here it is. The Way of the Shepherd, Dr. Kevin, right? He says that there's a shepherd when they're shepherding sheep. There is something that's called a staff,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then there's something else called a rod.
Okay.
The
Talk to me.
the staff helps them to keep in line. Like, you just kind of touch them on the shoulder, and it's a reminder that to move back in line. If it gets out of hand, then you use the hook on the staff and you kind of just pull them back in line. But when they're insistent on going to the places that they shouldn't go, then you administer the rod, and the rod is painful. But the rod, it reminds you, you want to get back in line or you want the pain? Which one you want?
Wow.
And so I have to allow God's rod and staff to do what it does. Because he said,
So, yo, stop it, man. So the rod and the staff.
And the staff. This is now, it brings a whole, when I read the book, it brought a whole new meaning to when David wrote, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me.
Wow. It's scary because if you don't read it right, it says the rod and I said they're coming for me.
Yeah.
Shoot. It's coming for me.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
And it's funny because even when the Bible talks about sparing the rod,
yeah,
if you spare the rod, you spoil the child. If you don't use it to guide them, and we sit there and we say, man, I feel like I'm serious. You sit there and you say, I feel like my my parents beat the mess out of me.
Bruh.
Was that rod or was that staff? You know what I'm saying?
Bruh.
Or was it one thing used as both?
Bruh.
Man, you just want your kids to grow up right, man. You just want your family to be the way it needs to be. But man, sometimes this joint is I'm gonna be honest with you, sometimes this joint is hit or miss.
And in those instances where we miss, we just got to make sure that we're in prayer and trust that God really does have control.
Yo, here's a question, right? Maybe folks can text in. What does a good father look like?
Wow.
What does a good father look like?
I'm interested in seeing this. Put it in the chat.
Yeah, right. What does a good? I'm gonna put it up right here. All right, let's ask the question. Right, what does a good father look like? All right, what does a good father look like? Let me spell that right before my wife tells me I ain't spelling something right. Yeah. All right, and I don't want you to answer it yet, right? I really want to know. That's a good question right there. What does a good father look like? And I just really believe, for me, I really believe that what a good father looks like. Was it my father? Was it my grandfather? I'm wondering to myself. So I'm going to ask anyone who's on the chat right now. Just ask the question. And first of all, share this with 3 or 5 people right now. Please, if you will, share this with 3 to 5 people right now. We're asking the question, what does a good father look like? All right. What does a good father look like? And I'm checking my chats right now. Yeah. What does a good father look like? Ah, man.
Ooh. Oh yeah. It's funny. Mike Dort, Jesus, he can give the rod and the staff, and you always know it's in love. Yep. It's funny, man. Have you seen Chosen?
I'm on the third season right now.
Oh, bro, I'm in season 4.
Oh,
And
you're hitting season 4 right now.
oh yeah, and they already getting ready for season 5.
Oh, hold on a second. Cheryl, come on. What do you mean talking about black or white? Is there a difference between a black and white father?
Uh,
I'm just asking a question, Cheryl. Are you trying to get on?
Culturally, I think there might be a little bit of a difference, but yes,
I just think from my mindset, man, a father's a father.
yeah,
I'm just that's just me. That's just me.
yeah.
That's just me.
I think a good father does the best that he can, but does it out of a place of love and care.
So what did Mike say?
Mike said, he said Jesus. He said he can always give the rod and the staff, and you always know it's in love.
Man.
And the reason why I thought that was dope is because I was watching, and I'm not going to give away nothing. I'll just tell you this one scene. Jesus is sitting and he's talking to Matthew about an interaction between him and Peter.
Okay.
And
this is 4, right? This is 4, right?
Yeah, this is 4. And
Okay.
he sits to them and he says, normally this is not a good way to measure a situation like this. But he said, who did the wrong to which person first?
Mhm.
And then Matthew was like, whoa. And then he was like, technically, if you talk, and Jesus said, no.
He said no.
No.
Okay.
Factual. Then he said, factually. Because he was trying to muddy the water in terms of the fact that he did wrong to Peter first.
Okay.
Right? But he said to him, no. He stopped him in his tracks and was like, no. So he corrected him with the rod. But when the conversation was up and Matthew was sitting there struggling with the thing, he kissed him on his forehead and went to bed. And so that's why what Mike Dorch said to me was heavy. He said, Jesus, because he can give the rod and the staff, and
at
you
the same time.
always know it's in love. So he, in the conversation, he was given the staff, and by asking him the questions, hopefully that he would fall in line with the proper mindset. So it was basically Matthew having to go give Peter an apology. But he said, if I give him the apology, I already know what's going to happen. Matthew and Christ was basically telling him, don't draw no conclusions. Do what I'm telling you to do. And you'll be all right. So while he's sitting there, he gave him the staff, right?
Right.
And you know, the rod is only for correction. So the minute that he said, well, if you take into consideration that he said no, factually speaking, who did who wrong first? He couldn't front at that point. And as soon as the conversation was over, because it was kind of a, Jesus cool as the other side of the pillow, he kisses him on his head and then he goes to bed. And I was just like, man, God, what an understanding God you are.
What an understanding God. He's an understanding God, man. It's funny, right? I'm gonna tell you this, right? My son did something wrong in school, right? We had to go before the principal and the vice principal and the teacher. Maybe this is the first time I'm saying this publicly, right? I don't like going in front of the principal.
Me neither.
For my kids, because of my kids.
I always feel like they did my child wrong. So if I go in here now with okay, if you say anything wrong, I'm going to box you.
Yo. Here's my problem. My problem is I know my son. If you call my daughter inside of I'm just like, I got that. That's a problem. But if you call my son in there, I know.
Yeah, I already know.
What did this joker do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. But man, my son came to me a couple of times and said, Daddy, I can't call it with this teacher.
Yeah.
I said, man, listen, anything anyway, whatever happened, happened. And I said to the teacher in front of my son and all of them, I said, listen, man, I know you, right? We're peers. I know you. But I said to the teacher, I want to make sure you're not picking on my son.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right in front of him, right in front of my son.
Yep. Yep.
Because I wanted my son to realize that, yo, I'm not big enough to beat your teacher, right? Not even in the street.
But I know people.
No, but
I'm connected.
my thing is, I want him to know that I got your back. If you're wrong, you're wrong. But I'm gonna check to see if I'm gonna check to see if I'm gonna check because I got your back.
Yes.
And I think one of the things that a father needs to be is someone who's a protector, right? And you don't got to be a protector with fists.
Fists. That's it.
You can't. You got to be a protector with just, having your father. I mean, having, stand there as an authoritative figure. You understand where I'm coming from? I remember,
no doubt.
I had a teacher in 3rd grade, man, that punched me in my stomach, bro. Pushed me down on a chair and punched me in my stomach. I went home and I told my father.
Hold on. 3rd grade, you said?
Listen, Chief, I was in 3rd grade, and I know I acted up. Seriously,
Miss Cox.
But this wasn't a I was in a public school.
Oh, okay. This wasn't Hanson Place.
Or you trying to figure out who was in funny?
Miss Daly?
Yeah, no, she just retired last year. Miss Daly. I introduced her to my daughter. Right, she's in Huntsville. But I remember my father came up to the school.
Yeah.
And my father said, I know my son probably was talking in class, acting up, so and so, whatever.
Yeah.
But my father said to this man,
Yeah. What did he say to him, B? Me no say your father, I will get
yo. He said, and he said it in front of me, right? He's about to leave. He sees the man, and I remember his name. His name was Mr. Walker. He puts his finger in his face. He said, the next time that you touch my son.
That's it.
Yo, listen, no. He said, I'm going to kill you. Yo.
Man, a bad man.
Yo, I have never felt so charged up in my life that I used to taunt the man so he can hit me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's it. Because you already know, yo, my P, if you lose yourself, my father gonna come and deal with you.
That's right.
But what's so funny, P? I'm reading the chapter. I want to say it's in chapter 6. And there is 3 things as a shepherd. Right, because the first thing that
I see you, Marvin.
Is shepherd our family, right?
Yeah.
And it is and here's the purposes behind the rod and the staff, right? Or the rod of correction, if you will.
Okay.
It's to protect, it's to correct, and it's to inspect.
Say it again. Somebody write that down. Please, somebody write that down. Go ahead. Say it again.
3 things that the rod of correction does, it is for the purposes of to protect, to correct, and to inspect. Okay. From the perspective of protect, it's supposed to stand in the gap and fight for your sheep.
Wow.
Right? That's the protection part.
Right.
The correct part is to approach discipline as a teaching opportunity. And then from the inspect part is to regularly inquire about your sheep's progress. Wow. So when you ask the question, what makes a good father? When we being a good father, we're talking about not just when things is hunky-dory and lovey-dovey and more you're kissing and, emotionally and all of that good stuff. That don't require nothing from you. When you're being a good father, like a good father is when you're facing difficulty and challenge and it requires something from you. Do you always yell and shout? Do you always berate your children? And like, for real, do you start the day off in the morning when they doing foolishness and shouting and screaming? Right? When they come home, are you shouting and screaming? Do you always use the rod as your first means of discipline? When I'm looking at the rod, right, that we use to bust the A, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Oh yeah.
Bust the A and Z, right? And in what I'm learning from a shepherd is that the rod of correction is not for the purposes of just inflicting pain. Yes, it feels uncomfortable. Yes, it's difficult, but it should protect, it should correct, and it should inspect. It should stand in the gap where you are always showing them that while you're doing wrong, I'm still fighting for you and I still got your back. Number
Still got
one.
your back.
Number
Okay.
two, in the correct, it should always look at each situation. And when we're approaching discipline, using it as a teaching opportunity. And then lastly, regularly inquiring about, you know what I'm saying, the progress. So this is where you were.
So checking
months.
on the progress of what you had to fix, so to speak.
So what I'm recognizing now, oh, let me not say recognizing, what I'm trying my best to implement now, P, is if I have to go as far as put a strap on you, I send you to your room so that you can have your dignity. And that's where you cry and do all of your stuff. And I kind of come and check in every now and then to see where you are. Right. And then once the crying is stopped, I come in and I sit down. I had to do it with Mason very recently. And I was almost in tears because I was like, Mason, I know what this is to get what you just got. And I don't feel good. It doesn't make me feel good to have to do this.
Why do you think we feel good doing that?
I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I have to make it known just in case you were thinking along the lines that this feels good or this is just me being angry. Am I angry? Yes. I'm a little bit more disappointed than I am angry.
Ah, boy.
But I'm disappointed because I don't want to have to resort to this, but I'm left with no other choice.
Right.
When I've spoken to you once, I've taken all of these different routes. I've done this thing secondly, right? And you still won't listen, right? And I can immediately say, all right, let's try it again. Let's try it again. Let's try it again. But I have to draw the line at some point and say, all right, because now you're taking this for a poppy show. Because children are children. They look to manipulate situations
as much as they can.
Get what they want.
Yeah.
Case in point. The children would come and ask me for something. No, absolutely not. And then they would go to the mother and ask, and she would say yes, or vice versa. She would say no, and then I would say yes. Then they doing the thing, and they would say, "Oh, well, mommy said or daddy said." Okay, I go fix on a blurt bleed, right? Right. Yes. So me and Faith had a conversation behind closed doors, and we came up with the conclusion that anytime they want to do something on that level that requires that level of permission, it takes 2 yeses to do it. If you don't get 2 yeses, it's a no.
Gotcha. If you don't get 2 yeses, it's a no.
It's a no.
That's good. That's good because they'll play good cop, bad cop with us.
Yes.
And my kids know who the soft one is. Listen, my kids know who Mr. Softy is. Straight off. Like my son knows right now that he cannot have a car in his first year in college. He's texting me, Dad, can I? Dad, I just found this car. Dad, I saved up a certain amount of money. And in the back of my head, it's like, I really want this kid to get this car. But the truth of the matter is, I can't break rules for him. Because if I break rules for him, then he's going to feel like breaking rules by the authority. I can do the same. If the authority can break the rules, I can break the rules also.
Can I say something to you? This country is headed for a whole bunch of trouble if they let my man slide. Because it's going to set a precedence. He human just like me. He a man just like me. So what? He the POTUS. So what?
Right.
If he can do it,
I can do it. Okay.
And then I'm just telling you, like, if you wanted to see the things that were like the changing moments of Earth's history, this is definitely
This is it.
this is gonna be one of them if they let my man ride.
Right,
Matter of fact,
right.
they doing stuff in the background. Yeah, I want to dive too deep, but they doing stuff in the background and got you focusing on him and this stuff.
And other stuff is happening. Come on, prophetic word.
So they got your attention over here. Meanwhile, they doing stuff over here, but you steady focusing on. Oh yeah.
Okay, Wendy has just put it. Wendy just made the rule. He's not gonna have a car his first year.
Judgment, we say.
Stand on that, Wendy. Oh,
yo,
snap. Okay.
My father would have said, take that, I make it carry you.
Yo, I got one for you. My dad, my mom and dad paid for our full tuition, the three of us, right?
Yeah.
And I went home. Hold up. It's my man. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Big Bob. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Man, I know you at work. Happy birthday. You look like freaking Santa Claus. Listen, I know you can't stay on long, man, but first of all, happy birthday to you, brother.
Oh, thank you.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Man, we were just asking some questions here, right? Is that a Mountain Dew?
It's a Diet Mountain Dew.
Damn, what you trying to say?
Approved by the Adventist Council. I think it's the Northern Chesapeake region, not the Potomac region now. So I don't know.
Yo, Bob. So Bob married this. Bob is not Adventist though. Bob married this Adventist girl. And man, I love his dialogue, man. I can talk to Bob all day about religion because Bob's in a whole different place. I know you at work, man. So
no, that's cool.
We was asking this question, right? What does a father look like? And you see, I know, but you've been married. What is it? 5 years you've been married?
That's my dude.
Me?
Oh, he's my dude, man. You don't even mess with Bob, man.
5's going on 6 years now.
Going on 6 years. Now they had a son. Your son is about maybe a year now, right?
No, he's 17 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Already?
Yeah, 17 months.
Okay, question for you, right? I mean, I got an answer for you, but because you're on right now, I want to hear it from you, right? What does a father look like? What does a father look like?
A good father is one that recognizes that they are the human representation to their kids that God is to us, and treats them with such, with the same love, compassion, grace, mercy, patience, all of that God shows us, that we show our kids and teaches them that way. That is, to me, what it is. That's the definition. So.
Wow.
Well, I want to thank everybody for listening tonight.
Right, because now you just. I mean, hey Bob, we didn't ask you to just close shop just now. I just think that I know that I want to be very sensitive when I say this. So somebody says you shut us down. You shut us down. Somebody says fire, Bob.
Hey, just so they know, my wife went to Oakwood, so she's the full seventh day. I am only on like day 4.5, maybe 5. Because we start on Sunday, you guys start on.
Oh my gosh! So Bob, I want to be really careful.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to put your business out there, too much like that. But I know that you were a father that was looking forward to being a father for some time. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we went through IVF. The first was a transplant, I guess you would say. Didn't take, it was a miscarry. And then we waited and had some testing done. And then we did the second one, and that's when Bryson came in. So, but he's my only biological child. I've been the fortunate to be a bonus dad to 3 other kids.
But Bob, let me tell you something. Your son looks just like you.
Wow.
No,
Yeah.
There's no DNA from this black woman cannot say that it's her child. It's yours.
So you can in a couple areas. One,
Okay.
he's got the Velcro hair. I call it his little Velcro patch. Two,
Yeah.
he has a good base 10, much better than me.
Okay. Okay.
And number 3, when I change him, you could tell he's packing already. Okay. All right. Okay. So I don't know if he's got some Jamaican DNA in there or what, but you know.
Yeah. Yo, listen, man. I just know I watch your, and I think that for me, I think you and your wife need to have a podcast for real.
Yo, that's hilarious.
I mean, you guys are something else. And the way I look at it is that I can see the way you, like when you're holding your son, the pictures, the videos, and so whatever. It's like, man, you are in love all over again.
Oh yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
Man.
absolutely, and not just with him, but with my wife as well. I mean,
Come on, let's
seeing her go through the
Come on.
sacrifice and the whole process of labor was really amazing. And I mean, it only pales in comparison to the sacrifice that I made of being on that hospital bench and sleeping on that chair for 2 to 3 days while she was in labor. So, no one picked up on that joke.
I got you.
Yeah, I heard
The sacrifice that I made.
Yeah. I got you. Hey, listen, hey Bob.
I had to wait on her.
Yeah.
Yo,
She
look
gets
what
all
Wendy
the
said.
attention.
Yeah.
Yo, listen,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
no
tell you
doubt.
this. I'm still in trouble. 23 years later, man, I'm still in trouble, man. 21 years later, when Zenobia was being born, man, Wendy was in pain, man. I fell asleep. She used all the words.
Yeah.
You hear me? She used.
I know those words.
You know those words.
Yeah, I took French in high school.
I got a couple of those words just before I came on here. So
My goodness. Bob, somebody said, Bob, you can transfer your membership to Miami Temple Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Marvin said that. That had to be Marvin.
Marvin said that. But man, I tell you, I love the look in your eyes when you're holding that boy, when you're watching him.
Yeah.
I just think it's Wendy said it was disgraceful what I did. See that? I shouldn't even have brought it up, man. Because that means there's no feel up in my future. You know what I mean?
Hey.
Yeah.
Peter fell asleep too, and Jesus forgave him.
I appreciate you, bro. But she's saying that's Peter, not Paul.
Yeah, okay.
So listen, I'm gonna post what you wrote, right?
Yeah.
You wrote earlier, a good father is one that recognizes that they are the human representation of God.
Yeah.
And shows our children the same love, grace, patience, and mercy that God shows for us. Wow. I mean, I don't know. I got to say this, man. Sometimes I feel like the same mercy that God has given to me is the same mercy I need to give to my children, but we still can't do it and I don't know if it spoiled them. I don't know. What's your thoughts, Bob?
What do you mean? I'm trying to pick up what you're laying down.
You know, I'm the kind of guy, man, that when I do something wrong, right, and then my kid does something wrong, because God has forgiven me, and sometimes it's hard for me to, lay the brick on him, so to speak, or her, because I feel like God has given me grace and mercy. You know what I'm saying? It's difficult for me to chastise them to do this, because as I said earlier, I feel like I suck as a dad. You know what I'm saying? Or or what have you. So because
I feel that same way too. But you have to give yourself the patience and realize and understand that God, you can't make yourself as God, because God is perfect in perfection and shows us that perfection in His love and everything. But He still created the law, still chastised the Israelites when they broke it, and still showed them the same mercy and forgiveness by giving them at first the option or the ability for sacrifice to make the atonement, but then also ultimately giving us His Son as that ultimate atonement, and not just for the sins that we have committed, but Jesus was still the atonement for the sins that we will commit. So God gave us that forgiveness going forward for the rest of our lives, knowing we're still going to make those mistakes, and still showing us that love, but still giving us that correction as well.
So there's got to be a level of correction with our children, no matter what.
Absolutely, and correction isn't a bad thing. We look at it as a bad thing. That's what we think it is, because we get spanked as a kid, and we didn't like it. Obviously, I mean, no one. Well, I can't say no one. Some people do, but they're the ones that like spicy food.
You missed it. You missed it, Quest.
No, I hear him. I hear him. Here's the powerful thing about
No,
what
Quest.
Huh?
Quest. You got to rewind to get what he just said. Some people, we don't like the spanking. Well, some people do.
Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I don't like it per se. I like to administer a spanking. I'm just saying. but
when you said leave it alone, leave it alone.
Because if you open up, I'm going there. Pause. But what Bob is saying is powerful, because truth be told, a lot of us as parents need spankings, because you hold your children hostage to things that you never taught. It's funny that we do the same things in marriage, right? We had this conversation it might have been last Monday or the Monday before, P, where we talked about where Phil was on, and we talked about, what is the one thing you could do better in your marriage? And you were like, what's your boy? He said communication.
Yeah.
And he said the communication that puts me in position where I don't expect things I never had a conversation about.
Right.
But here's the funny thing about children. Children are not adults, so they can't give you back talk or protest the way that adults do. Okay. And so I love what Bob is saying, because what it does is, in terms of my thought, it triggers the thought that sometimes we need a spanking because we did not clearly communicate the expectations, but we hold our children to those expectations like we had. So I'm looking back over my notes, because I'm in that book now. And we talked a little bit a while ago of the rod of correction, but we didn't talk about the staff of direction.
Yeah.
Right. So the staff of direction, when I was reading the book, for those who have never read the book, it's phenomenal. It's called The Way of the Shepherd, written by Dr. Kevin Leman. And the staff of direction speaks to knowing where you're going, getting out in front, and keeping your flock on the move. Right. When directing, use persuasion rather than coercion. Right. Give your people freedom of movement, but make sure they know where the fence line is. don't confuse boundaries with bridles. Because you
Bridle.
put a bridle in a horse's mouth to
Horse, yeah,
control them,
control them.
but you put a boundary, like this is where the line is drawn. Remember what I said earlier on about chance after chance after chance. Okay, we need to put a boundary in place,
Got you.
right?
Got you.
When your people get in trouble, go ahead and get them out, and then remind your people that failure isn't fatal. And so what those conversations are the things that we need to have with our children so that they understand what the standard is. A lot of the times you think that they should pick up the standard just by watching the dynamics of the family, which is true, but nothing beats communication. So when I heard Bob speak a while ago, I was like, oh, there it is right there. I
Right.
need to be able to properly put the expectations as to what the Graham household looks like, what the Green household looks like, what Bob's household looks like. Then we can talk about the rod of correction later on. But don't come to your children with the rod of correction if you haven't given them the staff of direction.
I understand. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. I got you.
And
Well,
that's
Bob,
yeah.
Well, Bob, I want to just say thanks for jumping on. I know you're at work.
No, I got a little bit of time.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So one thing I wanted to add to that is when we got married, Paul had married us, or my wife and I, and he had told us, that the husband is the priest of the home, and broke it down that it only matters as long as he's following God, right?
Yes.
And I'm still working on that every day for myself. And but the thing is, if you're the priest, you're the shepherd of the home, and you have the shepherd, not the rod, but they have that staff, the shepherd's crook, to guide the sheep. But it also allows the shepherd to balance or stabilize himself as they're walking when they get tired. It allows them to also break up the clods of dirt that will hinder the sheep as they go through life. So it's not just the tool to. We get so hung up on the idea that discipline or correction is wrong, and it's not. It may not be pleasant, but it's always a good thing when it's done in love. And that's how we have to perceive it with our children. It's not going to always be a pleasant thing, but it's something that's needed and required. Because if we don't, we know what the outcomes are.
Right.
So that's why. Right. So
I like that. It's not always pleasant.
Facts.
It's not always pleasant. I think the tough thing as a dad is, when you're expected to correct. Now, here's a scary thing, right? And here's a scary thing, because I think that I don't know Faith well. You know what I'm saying? Quest. I don't know Faith well, but I know Brianni enough to know that she's a strong-willed person. She's a very strong-willed person. My wife is I believe is a strong-willed person, and she may not look like it when we are together in church or one of these church stuff, but very strong-willed person. I call it grit. Yeah. Is there a level of correction? Do you find it difficult, Quest? Do you find it difficult, Bob, to take correction from your wife?
No, I don't. Okay. If I did, I would be a horrible husband. I would feel like I'm a horrible husband and a horrible man. That if I can't take correction from my wife, I mean, that's why God put her in my life. It's not necessarily to correct me, but she's the other half. She's the right side of my axle. I'm the left side of the axle, right? So we drive along. If that right tire is going wrong, you still got to correct with the left tire thing. They kind of hold you in balance there. Yeah, you just have to kind of keep it together that way. So I don't feel bad, and I appreciate it when she does.
No, Quest, what about you?
I don't feel no way about her correction. A lot of the times, truth be told, if I'm being honest with myself, I need it. Marvin, I did a couple of years back. I did a marriage conference at Marvin's church in Miami. And so he's familiar with my terms. I refer to it as the lemon squeeze. So in terms of your correction, right? Or your question, P, I used to do a thing with my wife called the report card. And we legit have a report card of how am I doing in this season? Am I the husband that you always thought that you would, right? Am I the father to your children that you always thought that you would have or dreamed that you would have? Do I communicate with you enough to feel that allows you to feel secure?
Mm,
So those are a number of questions that I would ask like that, and I would give her the autonomy to lemon squeeze me. Yo, these areas you're phenomenal in. These areas, they need a little bit of work, but it's okay. But and okay, not to say not to work on them, but in these areas right here, you suck. And
Yeah.
I have to be able to hear that I suck and not jump into my feelings, but realize that she loves me enough and trust me enough to tell me that I suck in these areas,
God,
and
you're
with hopeful that I'll make the adjustments. So,
Yeah.
but hopeful that we make the adjustments.
mhm, mhm,
You know, I'm afraid to say this, man, but you know, sometimes you don't want the reproving,
mhm.
right? Um, Sometimes you don't want it. I'm being real with you, right? I would rather you not just tell me about it, and I'll probably get it together later on. You know what I'm saying? And and what I'm hearing the both of you say is it doesn't work like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. I have to be at a place in my life where I have to, Bob, give Wendy the permission to correct me. It's Natasha said it right. She says definitely takes humility on both ends. It really
Mhm.
does.
Mhm.
But when you grew up in a house, right? Like I'm so embarrassed to say this. Remember the other day, Bob, you sent me something on Archie Bunker. Remember?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I know that that was on the God thing, right? But little do you know that before I go to bed, I spend I watched like 2 episodes a night of
Really?
Archie Bunker. Yes, I love Archie Bunker, but I realized that um that that brother was crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was crazy. There's some things that he said, and the Jefferson guy across the street, down the block.
Sherman
Remember,
Hemsley.
right?
Yeah.
But Sherman Hemsley wasn't in the show like that. The guy Jefferson in the show was Louise's brother. No, no, no.
Yeah.
What was Sherman Hemsley's brother? Okay,
Yeah.
so they were both bigots. You know what I'm saying? They were both bigots. All right,
Right.
and the way that he would not allow Edith to correct him, right? But she was always able to correct him in her own little way,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
But if you notice, the rest of the episodes and the seasons didn't say that he learned from it. He just
Yeah.
he just got it in that moment. And I think personally that if I want to be corrected, I can't ask for it the way I want it because I would never get the lesson. I would never learn the lesson. You
Right.
understand where I'm coming from? I think that it needs to be in a way where I will get the lesson. I
Mhm.
will learn the lesson. Like if my wife can take my phone away from me for a week, I
Yeah.
will learn the lesson. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. But I always want the softer end of the lesson. The same thing with God, right? If I do something that's wrong, or if I do something that doesn't please God, I feel like this is what I feel, right? Like God ain't striking me down when I walk out. I go back and there's no I don't get my car doesn't crash, or I go and I come back out, my bills are paid. Like I gotta say that God has been good to me, though I have not been good to him. You understand where I'm coming
Yeah.
from? And in that sight, I kind of feel like, well, God be giving me breaks, and
Bruh.
he's helping me without beating the crap out of me.
Bruh.
But I want my wife to do the same thing when God has probably sent her, right?
Yeah.
To be the him, like you said, Bob, to be the him. Okay, I know what you're gonna say, Bob. To be the him or her, right, Bob? Right. Okay, we've had those discussions. That will correct me. God is a God of correction,
That's it.
but man, I just don't want to be corrected where I'm in the hospital. I don't want to be corrected where I lose a limb or what have you. but he's a God of
Right.
correction. And I believe, like what you said, he has probably sent her, he's probably sent Brianna, he's probably sent Faith into our lives so that they can offer a level of correction that balances us.
Yes.
I learned that tonight. I'm just telling y'all, right? This is my therapy session, right? I learned that tonight. Okay, I'm just letting you from both of y'all. I learned that tonight from both of y'all. Okay. Wow, that's amazing, amazing. I think you guys, that's hands up, guys. I think I'm doing okay.
Redemption is a sweet thing.
And Elisa made a comment about correction. Check that out, Quest.
Yeah. She said, I think correction is the wrong word. How about bring light to something? Because correction might seem negative. And if I want you to hear me, I would never enter with correction. Oh, that lady is skilled in wifedom. She is skilled, bro. Because in all
wisdom is wifedom. Is wifedom?
Yeah, wifedom. Yeah, she's skilled,
but
bro.
That's the thing. We put these connotations on words like correction and discipline. But when we're driving and we go the wrong way, or veering off into another lane, we correct the car that way. It's not a bad thing. If you want to improve your health or you want to get into better shape, you put discipline in yourself by going to the gym or watching what you eat. That's not a bad thing. Like I said, it's not pleasant, not always pleasant, but it's necessary for where you need to go.
Here's the funny thing too. I think what she's speaking to is disciplined. You know what I'm saying? Just like being disciplined. I mean, you just said it, Bob, like being disciplined in your diet, being disciplined in communication. She's talking about being, and what I've learned about discipline, we have to have it. You've heard me say it before. Discipline weighs ounces, but regrets weighs tons. You know what I'm saying? What would happen if years from now you regret that you never spoke the way you should have spoken? That you never ate the way you should have eaten, according to, Bob's, or whatever it may be. You know what you need to do in order to make the situation right, and you didn't do it. And now you regret it.
Yeah. I could think of some things that I regret as a dad, as a husband, that probably I'm not willing to take correction for.
So let me ask you this then, P. The things that you regret, do you wish that you could go back and implement discipline in those areas for the things that you regret? And if so, what's easier, to implement the discipline or to deal with the regret on the back end?
I think what Bob talked about was God's grace. And I think that because you can't go back and deal with the regret, deal with the discipline, that God will allow us to deal with the regret, but with his grace.
Let's say we could go back though. And the only reason I'm asking is just for that person that might be listening right now, and you're in the middle of a situation and you're right at the fork in the road, and you got two decisions that you can make. You can humble yourself, and you can.
Would I prefer the discipline or the regret? Is what you're saying?
Yes.
I get full disclosure, being human, I will catch myself in regret. But regret is me holding on to my past mistake. When the forgiveness has already been given, either through my wife or whomever, I have to forgive myself. Regret is when you don't forgive yourself. So I would rather have the discipline, because the opposite of love is not hate, but the opposite of love is apathy. And when you stop caring is when you stop loving, or that's when the love is gone in the relationship. I mean, how many times have you guys seen it when you've done marriage counseling with couples and they say, "Oh, I don't love them anymore." You must love them, because you are here in this counseling session. So you do love them. There is a level of love. There's another issue there. But like I said, the opposite of love is apathy in this. And I have to respect and know that my wife loves me enough to give me that correction for the mistake I made. And I have to be humble enough to receive it. And it's that simple.
And the reason why I'm saying it, Bob, is is because, like, for real, there might be somebody who's listening tonight who might be in whatever that difficult situation is, and you can go to the left or you can go to the right in terms of discipline or regret. Because some of us will hold on to, like, I'm not going to do that, whether it be pride or ego, and we can have a long discussion about what those two
Yeah.
are in and of themselves.
Mhm.
But once again, I like it because the discipline is lighter than the regret, much
So
lighter.
the discipline is lighter than the regret. You're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying the
Right.
discipline weighs ounces, the regret weighs tons.
I got you. I got you. I got you. I got my buddy on. I always say this. He's the master of facts. Master of fact.
Mm.
You know.
Is that
As I
TD
say,
Jakes?
he said it right.
Properly
Oh no!
introduce
Wait
that
a
man.
second. I have an open calendar at my church in August if you're available. And let his wife sing. Let his wife sing. Let his wife sing. All right. His wife. Okay. Hey, I want to introduce everybody to Elder Ronnie Saniq.
Come
Um,
on.
and man, I just love this man. He's a man of trivia. And I just asked him the question online. I know you must be smelling good because you just came out the shower. He said, I can't, I'm in the shower. But since you're smelling good, I wanted you to answer this question. And I'm so grateful for Bob. And but I'm gonna ask you a question, just put it right out there. What makes a good father? And I'm gonna say this, right? Just not makes a good father. Let's put it in 2 cents because we only got like 15 minutes left. But what makes a good father and what makes you a good father? That's 2 questions. I didn't ask everybody else that. I asked you those 2 questions.
Okay, so funny thing is, this is why I love the Holy Spirit is that while I was writing today, this popped into my head. I don't know why it popped into my head, but it did pop in my head. My relationship with my children. I was thinking of an idea came in my head, and I was like, you know what? If I ever had to do a baby dedication, and I haven't done one in a long, long time, I said, if I ever had to do a baby dedication, I was cycling, by the way, so you get thoughts while you're cycling. I'd have to say to her, hey, listen, this is his child. This is her child. Whatever happens with y'all two doesn't negate the responsibility that you have to your child and to this relationship to your child. There shouldn't be, oh, we're going to fight over the child to hurt the other person because you're taking your relationship and interceding it upon the child's relationship. So my role as a father is different than my role as a husband. I could be a terrible husband and still be a good father. Those two,
Yeah.
those things don't have to be there. But for fathering, for me, what makes a good father is the care, the concern, the interaction, the engagement I have with my child, looking out for their best interest. Today, my son came to me and said, hey, a nut and a washer came out of my chair. I say, okay. I say, well, can you fix it? And so he tried to fix it. Another nut and washer came out of the chair, and it had the hexa screw, the same one I used for my bicycle. And I said, "Hey, go in the van in the back, get the hex screw, and use that to fix your." Do you have it in here? Oh no, I don't. I don't. Use that to fix your bike, and he did. Came back and said, "Oh, it worked." So fatherhood involves those things of looking out, caring, answering questions, having the resources to fix little nascent things to build relationship. And finally, yesterday my son asked for a watch. He already has an Apple Watch, but he wanted a stylish watch. And I said, you know what? Let's not go to Amazon and get a cheap watch. Hold up, save up that way, and I'll partner with you, and we'll get you a watch, a very good watch. That way you can say, you know what? My dad gave me this watch. I'll give it to my son, and we can create a legacy that way. You see?
Oh, okay.
So
So what I'm hearing.
fatherhood is not only enjoying the moment, but looking towards the future. I'm already looking at the grandkids. I want to make sure I do such a good job for him that he does the same thing to the grandchildren, and they do the same thing to their children. So fathering is building a legacy.
Wow. I never listen, man. I always want to build a legacy for my children. I'm going to
Yeah.
tell you, sadly enough, that the legacy that I want to leave for my children is going to sound, I want to leave a monetary legacy for my children, homes, wealth, generational wealth. And what you have brought to the table was I want to bring a legacy. not of money, but of how are you going to treat your children? How are you
Yeah.
going to be there for them? I don't know all of your business, but I'm just asking, did you grow up with a dad in the house?
No.
Okay. How do you think that what about you, Bob? Bob, did you grow up with a dad?
Yeah, and it wasn't a healthy relationship, so it skewed my perception of God in that way. So that's why I'm always the girls as well. My wife's girl. So
Bob, could you say that again? Because it skewed your what? Say it again.
it skewed my perception of God as a kid. Like, oh well, this is how my dad does it, because they tell you in school, oh God, he's your father just like your dad is, and he loves you the same way. Well, not realizing until later on as an adult how bad or toxic it was with my dad's own issues. It skewed my own perception of God. So now, being a father myself, knowing I don't want to do it that way, now I'm realizing that's not how God is. God is actually this other way. Wow. So it's this whole thing has been, a process and a journey for me of growth and faith and understanding and everything else.
Gotcha. Hey, Quest, somebody asked the question, where we get these bearded men who's bringing the word.
That's Marvin.
Yeah.
That's Marvin.
Just now on the bike ride, you talk about father, right? One thing I do in the bike club is we have 3 P's. We pray, we take a picture, then we pedal off. And sometimes some people are new who are new to the bike club. They're like, man, you treat the bike club like your children. You're always looking out. You're very concerned. So my desire for fatherhood is sometimes, even when I don't want to do it, is ingrained of this fathering, this mechanic, right? And so I often tell the folks, listen, you can be atheist, but I got receipts. And same thing I say with my sons. When you're fathering, you want to be open. I've been very open, very honest with them about everything.
Okay.
And because I don't want them to make any of the mistakes I made. Now, mind you, they can wind up going there and making their mistakes, but at least we can have that honest conversation. Oh, yeah. So you did get her pregnant. Okay. We had,
I'm there.
Right. I hear you, Quest. Quest.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Quest. Sorry.
Yeah. So
I'm in that same place with you right now.
Mm-hmm. And so you gotta be, listen, not now. Now this is thrust upon you. My younger son said to me yesterday, says, you didn't plan on Justin. You're right. I didn't plan on him, but I changed my life because of him. I was we were happy in New York. We were enjoying New York, but hey, I'm pregnant. Are we pregnant? No. You know what I'm saying? We pregnant? Okay. Are we gonna get a house in Queens? No, that's too expensive. House in Jersey, high taxes. So lift up. Okay, we're gonna move to Maryland. No, I didn't plan on you. Yes, I wasn't expecting you to be here at this point in time. I wanted these plans, but once I knew you were here, you were important enough for me to change my entire life.
Yeah, I got you. Ronnie, I think it's amazing sometimes when God has called us to kick in.
Yeah.
Like to ante up and kick in. And I maybe I'm that conservative guy that believes that there are still roles for men and there's still roles for women, or it's very important that the husband and wife, I'm going to use these words, agree on the roles.
Yeah.
All right, that they agree on the roles. But my mother always said this to me, and I'm gonna try to wrap this up, but just hold up. My mother always said to me and my brothers, if you want to make if you want to do anything for your children, treat your mother right.
Yeah.
Right? Or treat your wife right. All right. Right. Treat your wife right. If you ever want to do anything for your children, like my children don't know the intricacies of the BS that my wife and I go through. Just like the church doesn't know, just like, Ronnie, you don't know. Or you understand where I'm coming from? I'm talking about there's some stuff that we go through that we can't let anybody know. And I'm going to open up and say this to you all, that that's one of the reasons why I talk to somebody now, right?
Yeah, therapy is great.
Right, because I'm the guy that wants to spit out and talk to people about how I'm feeling, and I need somebody on my side. And I recognize that, no, she's on your side, right? She's on your side, right? So my thing, Bob, is that I got to treat her right, even in the midst of our stuff, because if you want to make, if you want to, what did my mom say? My children have to see me treat my wife right. Right. You understand where I'm coming from? And that's how they respect mom. That's how they take care of mom, and the whole nine. And I find that being a good father is being a good father when you don't feel like being a good father.
Yes, yes.
You know what I'm saying? You know,
remember the X commercial, the marijuana commercial, in when we were kids.
Wait, what's that? I don't know what that is.
What marijuana commercial?
There was a marijuana commercial where the dad confronts the son with he has a box of Tukis of marijuana cigarettes. And the dad says, "Where'd you do this? Where'd you get this? Where'd you get this?" And he's, grilling his son on where the son got, how did you learn?
I learned it from watching you.
Exactly. And that's key. That's key. They're watching you.
How come I didn't remember?
Remember that? Yeah.
You do, Pete. You do, Pete. As they started saying it, I remember. He's like, "Where did you get this from? Where did you learn how to do this?" And then the kid finally breaks and he says, "You, Dad, I watched it from what?" He said, "I learned it from watching you."
And it says parents who use drugs will have children. Yeah, who use drugs. And that's the thing, is that even, at school, my students will mock me because they'll walk like I walk. They'll know when I shaved my head or when I've trimmed my beard. My kids at home notice it. They'll watch even the nascent things that you do. They're watching, and I know. And we have these conversations with my son. I said, "Man, I know if I was I was out in these streets cheating on their moms, I know my sons would be whores. You see, my sons ain't got that legacy. You can't say you learned whoredom from dad because I'm not in these streets. So you can't when you go off to college and you're doing your thing. No. That's you. That's you. You can't. And so they the stuff that we do, the nascent things, who's paying the bills, how we're talking about money, how we're discussing finance, how we're doing work, all these nascent things that you may not think about, your kids are watching, and you are a model whether you want to or not.
Gotcha.
I got it from watching you.
I want to go around the horn for a second. I'm going to ask two more questions. We go around the horn, right? What is the last thing that you have done for your wife unsolicited? And what is the next thing you're planning on doing for your wife unsolicited? All right. I don't know who's first. What's the last thing you did for your wife that was unsolicited? What's the next thing you want to do for your wife unsolicited?
The last thing that I did for her unsolicited was wash the boys' clothes for school. Like, they're out of school right now, but when we start going back again, I plan to take it off of her, period. Like, I wash both of our clothes as it is right now. Like, I wash them, dry them, what needs to be hung up. I fold them. I done fell off and putting them away. They stay in the basket after I fold them up. But I started washing the boys' clothes because I would see on Sundays she would be watching TV and doing their clothes, and these jokers creating more laundry than me and my wife put together. But I think that's just one thing I'm going to take off of her, period.
Okay, but that's the future.
Yeah, that's the future.
That's what you will do.
When school starts.
So what was the last thing you did? What was the last thing you did unsolicited?
That was it. She never asked
you
me
did
to do
that.
it. I did it.
Okay.
I did it.
So what's the next thing you would do unsolicited?
And so I'm going to take it over. She didn't ask me to, but I'm just going to take it off her plate completely.
I got you. Bob, on you.
For me, I'm going to say this and then I got to bounce. But for me, the last thing I did was the emissions was due on the car, and I just took care of it while I was out. And she had said, hey, this needs to be done, and I just went and did it. Didn't tell her I was doing it, and just went and did it. And the thing that I'm going to do is going to happen when I get home from work. I ain't going to tell you about it. No.
Well, it's your birthday, bro. It's your birthday. So I know you got to go right now, man, but I want to say happy birthday to you, brother. And
thank you.
It is, I wish that you had a different time of work so we can do this all the time, man. All the time.
I'm working on that. Pray that they give me the news this week for a job that I had applied for. Hopefully get an offer this week.
Well, we're gonna pray. We're gonna pray you up, Bob. So everybody who's online, we're gonna pray for Bob to get the desires of his heart. So he can get the desires of his heart. Somebody already said Bob got the blessings. Bob, blessings to you, bro.
Thank you.
Thank you again. I know you got to run, man. Again, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you, brother.
Thank you. And for anyone out there, if you're considering at 50 years old on getting yourself a tiny terrorist like I did, don't do it.
Hey, we're gonna see if we can get Mountain Dew approved on the SDA list. We're gonna see if we can get it approved.
Well, yeah, all the conferences.
All the conferences. Bob, take it easy, boss. Love you much, brother.
You guys take care.
All right, please. Yeah, he's the best, man. I'm trying to tell you. You don't know. He's the best, man. So you're the last one. You're the last one.
Okay. Well, for Mother's Day, typically we do like dinner. But what I did is I had her car completely detailed. So while we were out for dinner, took the car over and had it completely detailed top to bottom. Got it looking showcase new.
Okay.
She really liked, really enjoyed. Coming up, it's tight because there's not a lot of stuff that we have very interesting traditional, non-traditional roles.
Okay.
Because in my household, I do the bulk of the food shopping, and the cooking. So with the boys, I get up in the morning and I make breakfast and lunch for them and for myself. Get about 4:30 and
what's
to
your
get
address?
Yeah, we have a very So a lot of things that we're doing already. We because there's like I want you to relax and sleep in. So my son has to be at the bus stop by 6:30. So I'm up at 4:30 doing breakfast and lunch. So I have to think about that because our wedding anniversary is coming up. But yeah, probably taking the boys to Jamaica for to see their grandparents on that side.
Yo, that's nice.
Nah.
That's nice.
Yeah. But yeah, we because the interesting thing is I was speaking with a young lady I used to tutor, and she tried to say, you guys have a traditional household, and so she is a lesbian young lady. She just tried to say, well, you guys have a traditional household, so there's not really advice you could give me. I'm like, no. Yes, I am a masculine cisgendered male. Yes, my wife is feminine. Yes, but we don't. There's not. It's not like, hey, I wouldn't buy my wife a vacuum. I wouldn't buy my wife a vacuum. No. If something needs to be vacuumed, I vacuum it. If the dishes need to be cleaned, I clean the dishes. Every spring break or winter, I deep clean the house. So start with the basement, did the fridge, gonna do the dishwasher, then do the outside, and then do the garage. And there's no honey-do list. It's like, hey, when the breaks come, you do these things, because you get the house up. Yeah, so there's not a role per se of you're the man, you watch TV, you do X. No, Sundays I'm at Wegmans and I'm at Costco. I even know the Costco people. Like, I know them by name. I know the gas station Costco guy by name. I know Adam. I know my favorite cashiers. I know the food sample people.
Man. Hey, listen, man, Ronnie, I knew I got you at the last minute. We're about to close off, man, but thank you for your insight, man. I
No
think
problem.
that insight on the whole bicycle and you're partnering with your son. You're creating a legacy. And I think every one of us as fathers, right, and fathers to be and what have you, creating that legacy is important. Not just that generational wealth legacy, but that legacy that says I'm present. I'm present. You know.
Before you go, can you give me 1 minute?
Sure.
Let me talk to you about finance, okay? In general, like, and I want you to hear me, okay? You can leave your kid rich now. You build up wealth. If you don't give your kids a legacy of financial management, your grandchildren will be poor. If you look at statistically in Black families, no matter how much the current generation raises, by the time it gets to the third generation, the family line is back in poverty. It's not money that's the issue, it's mindset.
Gotcha.
It's mindset. So don't leave your kids with money, but a bad way to spend it. They shouldn't be looking at, I want Fendi, I want Balenciaga. No. That's bad mindset. And a lot of us are leaving our children with money, but not the mindset to manage the money. You see, having a whole bunch of kids. Remember, Kennedy and them, after they had that large family, they realized, oh no, the money's shrinking. So what they went, okay, we're gonna have 2 kids. Everybody now has 2 kids because they realize the money's gonna stretch. And if the more you stretch it, the less you have of it, the less to invest in, the less for it to grow. So it's not money that's the problem. You really want generational wealth? Build better generations mentally. Then the money will come by itself. If you teach your kids now how to manage money, they'll teach their kids how to manage the money. And they'll teach their kids how to manage. So then the money can build generationally. Don't leave generational wealth, leave wealthy generations.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Go. I thought you were about to play something, man. I thought you were about to play something. Quest. You just backed up like you would usually do that.
So yeah, that's the thing.
Hey, listen, man. Thank you, Ronnie. Thank you for just spending a little bit of time with us. We're gonna close off, but man, thank you again. I hope everything that you make, you can give 10% to your pastor friend. All right, everything you make, everything. All right, brother. We'll talk soon. Thank you, brother. All right, peace.
Wow.
Hey, man. Yeah, that was a word just now. That was a word just now. Listen, man. It's always good chopping it up with you, man. Always good chopping it up with you.
P, this is you know when something is comfortable and it feels right. This is that.
I hear you.
Yeah, I wanted to show you something. How what's his name said it a while ago. He said that that you're basically that our children are watching. I wanted to, if it'll allow me to, I want to show you something real quick, right?
Oh,
let me see
my
if it'll
goodness.
allow me to.
I'm in trouble.
How old is Nico?
Wait. Hold on. You there? Paul, you didn't answer your own question.
Yeah.
Let me answer my own question. I think the last thing that I did for Wendy, unsolicited.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? This may be small, right? But my wife dropped her makeup, and it made a mess on the floor, and I can tell she tried to clean it up, but she was in a rush to go to work.
But whatever.
Yeah. So, I cleaned it up. I mean, I cleaned it up properly. It's there's maybe stains on not the carpet, but on the thing that you step out on. But she usually washes. I don't. The rules in my house, I don't really wash clothes and stuff like that. But that was one of the things that I did. It may be small, but unsolicited. I mean, I didn't want her to come up because if she came back and cleaned it, it would be. It would, she have to get on her knees to do it. You know what I'm saying? And to get down there and scrub whatever, what have you. So I did that, unsolicited. I think that
Mm.
what I would do in the future, unsolicited, now that my son is going to go away to school, right? I think I would like to keep her car clean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, right? 'Cause that's
Yeah.
I saw my father-in-law do that for his wife.
It's
Her father.
it's
So I think I would want to
I
do
felt
that.
I fell off. There was a
Okay.
time where I would on Sundays go and fill the tank up so that Monday morning she would go to work and never have to worry about going to the gas station. Because the gas would last her. She
Mm.
didn't have to go far. It would last. Yes, thank you.
That's I
Yes, sir.
I like that. I like that. Go ahead, man, so we can close off what you were saying. Go ahead.
So our kids are watching, and I thought this was Marvin had the opportunity to see this a couple of years ago because I usually show it whenever I'm at a but your children are watching, right? So
Mm.
uh let me just can you see that right there? I just want to make sure you can see that. Can you see that?
Yes, yes.
I want you to check this out.
What up? What up? It's your man Niece. We are talking about marriage today. Marriage is all about love, hope, strength, and marriage ain't for suckers. That's what the program called. Marriage ain't for suckers. On my podcast today, we're gonna talk about marriage and love, strength. Strength is about lifting poverties to left bones. If you can't lift bones, you cannot lift weights. And that's marriage stuff. Let's talk about health now. Like it's like one of like in those like video games, like in those video games, like Mason plays like every day. He picks a game on his tablet to play, and then some of those like big kids that like they play Fortnite on their computer, and like they need some like more help, so like they get they like walk to like a tree or something and like eat something, because if you don't have help, you don't have help, and then you will die. So you need to have help. That's about marriage. So see you next time. Peace.
Bro,
What,
What
it's
in
your
the
boy
bro,
Chris.
world?
I just want to tell you, right? How do I? Okay, there we go. Nico is now 11 years old. Every time I show him
Yeah.
that video, he's like, "Oh, daddy, not the video again." He did that video when he was probably about 4 years old.
What?
Where would he get? One day we were going to church, right? And I picked up Faith's phone. I picked up my phone, but Faith's phone, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, wait a minute. I know I didn't record nothing on this phone. Why is the video thing? So I looked to see, who do I see in there? Nico. Where would he get that idea? At that time, they don't know what podcast is at 4 years old. They don't know, but because he's been watching me do this thing over and over again. You know what Nico said to me the other day? Daddy, at 11, can we record our first episode? And I wanted to use it as a bargaining tool for him to get better. But
Hmm.
after, man, I'm telling you, the word is true. There's safety in the multitude of counsels. Speaking to
True.
LDH today,
Yeah.
he was like, bro, that's him practicing his greatness. Don't use that as no bargaining tool. Choose something else as your bargaining tool,
Else.
but don't use that.
Ah.
You feel
Ah.
me? So when you
Yeah.
talk about being a good father and that these kids are watching us, like for real, as long as we could, because you hear me, foundation, love, lifestyle, legacy. If the foundation is right, which is who we are as an individual, it affects the way you love, it affects the way you create lifestyle, and it affects the way you create legacy, which is what we want.
Gotcha.
Your boy just said to it a while ago. So when he said that, it triggered. I was like, yo, that reminds me of. So as long as we continue to work on ourselves, man, and be better, then the kids will be better as a result of it, as a natural result. So yeah, man,
You ain't
I
lying.
love
You
you,
ain't
man.
lying. Man. Quest, man, thank you, man, for hanging out with me tonight,
Thank you,
man.
bro. Thank
I
you,
love the
bro.
lessons
Thank
learned.
you,
I love the therapy in this. I was telling somebody the other day, man. I've been in
man.
therapy since February, and it's nice to
Man.
be in therapy with you. We had Bob on with us
Hey,
tonight. We
two
had
of us need
Ronnie.
it.
Yo, Bob is amazing,
Come on, man.
man.
Shout out.
He's amazing. He's an amazing dude. And Ronnie, it was great to have Ronnie on too, even for that little while right there. Just amazing, man. So I love when things are unscripted, bro.
Come
I
on.
love it
Come
when
on.
things are
Come on.
unscripted, when we don't got a plan. We just all we've got to do is be. We don't got to plan. All we got to do is be.
Hey,
Bob
hey.
Bob just left a text. He said, "Thank you for having me on. I was fortunate tonight that the job I was doing gave me a lot of flexibility at the end of the shift, and so it was great to have him on, man. What a
Can I
blessing.
say this to you?
What a Yeah, man.
Can I say this to you?
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, we the Get Fresh crew. You ain't hear it?
No.
Yeah. Oh, then I gotta fix it. I don't know what's going on.
Okay. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. The one thing I want to say to you before I run, I saw this picture the other day, man, and I wanted to just be clear about this real quick. I think that one of the things that I got to learn in my life, and I think that it will, it'll make my wife happy, it'll make my children even happier, but it'll make me more content with life. Sometimes you got to be careful who you're hanging out with, who you chilling with, and the whole nine. Man, I saw this the other day. And when I saw this the other day, I keep talking to my kids about hanging with the right people and this, that, and the other. And I recognize, man, that, if somebody is messed up, seriously, if somebody's messed up, I'm not talking about sin or this, that, and the other, but you allow them to rub off on you the wrong things, man, then it's going to be contagious. The foolishness is going to be contagious. And man, when I saw that, I said to myself, I said, wow, what a lesson right there. A lesson that simply shows that, man, it is good to, I'm going to say this to you. It is good to rub shoulders with you. What is it? Bad company corrupts good character. And man, I just want to thank you for just spending some time. You know what I'm saying? And I know Faith would be like, get to bed, boy. Man, you know what I mean? But it's good to spend a little time together with you. So Unscripted, man, we're going to ask everyone, if you will, to share this with a friend, share this with others. I love the numbers, man, because it's on different platforms. So we see the
Send
real
me that
numbers,
pic,
but
that thing is phenomenal.
I definitely will. So everyone, thank you for joining us on Unscripted Conversations. And if you ever want to join us, just watch. And if you like to, you got your 2 cents in, Annalisa, you got your 2 cents is Adriana, you got your 2 cents in, and you want to say whatever and talk, just inbox me so we can talk. Be blessed, everyone. Continue to walk with God. That's it. Yeah, yes.